Hey guys, this is Jay Calderon with Jay Unboxing here, giving you my personal prediction for the Bantamweight clash between belt holder Nordine Oubaali and former world champion Nonito Donaire. And remember, before I get into this is just my take. Yours can be left down in the comments section below. I would love to hear them. And as mentioned, this is Oubaali versus Donaire for the former's WBC Bantamweight Championship. This will be taking place at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, formerly the StubHub. And this will be taking place on Saturday, airing live on Showtime. And it's a very solid encounter that pits a rising star in the champion Oubaali and a faded but all-time great in Donaire. It really comes down to timing in many respects. Is it the perfect time for the younger gun, or does Donaire have the legs to outrun Father Time once more? And to try and figure this out, we're going to go ahead and get into some of the details, and I'll tell you how I think this fight breaks down. Let's start with the champion here. For Oubaali to win, I think he needs to start by making sure that he is going to press the action from the opening bell. Letting Donaire build confidence and find himself a way to make this a winnable fight does not do well for Oubaali. Instead, press him. Make the old guy work. Hit anything you can. Let your punches flow naturally. Don't wait for the perfect shot. Don't load up and don't get caught headhunting. Just push him up against those ropes and let the shots come organically. Make the old man work. Secondly, I think Oubaali needs to make sure that he doesn't get too left-hand happy. Oubaali has a very strong left hand, and he'll need it against a fellow southpaw to be successful. However, he can get so happy with it that it becomes sort of all he throws, and that's not good. Donaire has very fast hands and a quick and strong left of his own. In a straight-up battle of exchange of those left hands, for example, it could be bad news for Oubaali if you're not mixing in your jabs and even that right hand to kind of throw Donaire off, because in a battle of just straight lefts, if Donaire's get there first, he has a very good shot of landing something that perhaps changes the outcome of the fight. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again, for any time a younger man is facing an older man, you need to test Donaire to the body. It's always a good idea against older fighters. Shots to the body can really gauge how much an aging fighter has left. Oubaali throws well to the body and should do that with Donaire for a few reasons. Firstly, it will help age him round by round, but it also zaps speed and strength in general, making Oubaali's job a whole lot easier in the later rounds. Switching to Donaire here, I think for starters he needs to stay away from the ropes. When Oubaali has you on the ropes, his punches get harder and he swings them faster and with worse intentions. They also get a little straighter because he doesn't have to worry about the trajectory. You're kind of lined up for him. Perhaps the younger Donaire might have looked to exploit that. However, now Donaire has to be smart and make his man miss and then pay. And unless he sees something specifically, a sort of trap or a shot that he can set up by laying on the ropes, circling to his right is the preferred move, especially comparing it to just sitting on the ropes and waiting to see what happens. Secondly, I would say land your short shots on the inside of Oubaali's wider shots. While neither man should aim for a firefight, I think exchanges tend to favor the guy with more experience. They can set more traps and they know when to time those perfect counters. Now, if he's totally faded, of course, this is bad news for Donaire. But if he has something left, it can definitely be a moment for him to, in other words, you've been there, you've done that. You might see something you can exploit. That said, Donaire should use that experience to be mindful of keeping his shots tight and quick on the inside of those Oubaali shots that sometimes are a little wider. And if he has a chance of landing something clean and hard on the inside, that's when he should take it. Straight lines to the target. Finally, I would say the left hook can find a home. Of course, if all else fails, dance with what brung you to the ball. And power is one of the last attributes that fades, and Donaire certainly has his fair share, if he still has enough to catch you clean with it. And if he can check that left hook or time it over a lazy Oubaali jab often enough, he has a shot of paving the way to some real success as the fight progresses. Now, while I'm picking a bit of a long shot here to some degree, I think it's, could be just that I'm a believer in Donaire and his abilities, and I understand he is an older fighter, but I think I am going to go with the Filipino Flash on this one, and I'm leaning towards him in a small upset here. Oubaali can at times be crude. If Donaire can capitalize that and has enough of what he has shown in his thrilling encounter with Nonito Donaire in 2019, I think he has a real shot. My concern is rust on an older fighter. It can be harder to deal with, harder to shake, if you will. And since that Donaire fight, Donaire has been on the shelf roughly 20 months. The good news for him is that Oubaali has been out just about as long, if I think maybe the same exact month. So if Donaire can start well enough, go through the gears with solid movement, good jabs, and land that left hook that we talked about early enough while making sure to stay off the ropes, I think he, or at least stay off as much as he can, I think he has enough to hold on and win a close decision. Donaire via 12 split decision or majority decision. The betting odds for this fight have Donaire, of course, as a small underdog at plus 215, with Oubaali coming in at minus 265. Really decent odds either way you want to look at it. I mean, if you have some decent money you want to put on Oubaali and you really feel that he should win this fight, make no mistake about it, he probably should if he's what people think he is, then it's not the worst bet in the world, 2.5 to 1. If you're like me, who happens to think Donaire has a decent shot, then laying a small to maybe small mid-size bet is not out of the realm of possibility either. Also picking something like an over-under in this fight, I did not check into those odds specifically, but if you're able to find something around a round 7 or 8 or 9 even for the over-under, I would pick the over in that situation, as I don't think this is an easy fight for either man. And my prediction record going into the weekend is 12-5-1 with 5 exact. So I'd love to hear your guys' record and most recent picks, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow at jcalderon_JOB on Twitter. And you can email me at junboxing@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you there as well. Also be sure to check out junboxing.com for schedule results, betting odds, rankings, and more. And as always, until next time.